Hey, so I wanted to come talk to you for a few minutes and offer, if I can, some encouragement and maybe provide some hope. Because if you're going through some really hard times right now, just know that you're not alone. Um, if you've seen any of my videos, you've already heard me talking about how my wife and I, for a good 2.5+ years, didn't have a place of our own. And we were going back and forth between my parents and her dad's. And then after the last time we moved out of her dad's place, she was actually staying with a friend and I was staying at my parents' house. And it was rough. It was not being able to be with my wife. It created it created deep depression, like probably some of the worst that I've experienced. And at times I would wake up in the morning to go to work and I would just wish that time would stop. I wish there was a pause button that I could just hit pause and not have to get out of the bed. The sun wouldn't come up. I could just lay there in the dark and not have to worry about anything. And that's not a good place to be. And at times, there was probably at least twice that I would go to bed by myself and I couldn't help but cry. Because when you're married, you want to sleep in the bed with your spouse. You want them to be next to you to feel their warmth. And we were just in a place where we couldn't do that. But eventually our friend let me stay over there as well. And we stayed with her for it started in July. Yeah, it was in July when my wife started staying over there, and then we finally got our place November 1st. We moved in. But that was a really tough time. And when we were going through it, when I was in the middle of it, it felt like it wasn't going to end. It felt like, man, are we ever going to get out of this? But day by day, step by step, time went on, and eventually we got into our own place. We're not completely out of the woods yet because our finances are still a struggle, but we're in a better place now than we've been in a while. And I'm probably not the most exciting person to watch. And I'm still working on my facial expressions, my mannerisms. I don't want to overdo it, but at the same time, I get it. I can be boring. I'm not going to blame you if you think that. But I just want to encourage you. Keep moving forward. Keep going day by day, step by step. Keep your eye on the future. If you have a plan, keep that plan at the forefront of your mind and stay focused on it. If you have an idea or something that you're working towards, that you're believing that, okay, this is gonna propel me forward or propel us forward, and we're gonna get out of this and we're gonna be able to increase our income, keep working towards that. Don't give up. There's a saying that I've been focusing on lately, and the saying is, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. I know it can seem daunting. I know it can seem hard. It looks like so big of a task. It's like, how can I even start this? Why even start this? And all you got to do is take one step. And that one step leads to another step, and then that leads to another step. And you keep moving forward. And before you know it, another day goes by and you've taken all these steps. It wasn't the easiest thing for me to get started on YouTube. But once I did, I'm not gonna say, oh, it's easy. It's not easy for me to get on here and talk, but it can be done. You can start to get over anxieties with whatever you're doing. It's not about YouTube, but you can start getting courage. You can start getting motivation, feeling better about what you're doing. All you got to do is start. For a long time, I wanted to get into the right place, mindset, have things set up the right way before I even got started. But the truth of the matter is, you don't have to wait until things are perfect to get started. And I would advise against that. Don't wait till things are perfect to get started, because things might not ever be perfect, or by the time they are perfect and you do get started, it's going to be so far into the future. Get started now. And it's whatever you're doing. Get started now. Grow in what you're doing. Learn in what you're doing. And eventually, you're gonna get where you want to go. But I hope somebody got some encouragement. And on this video, I wasn't going to do anything really long. And I feel like I've said everything that I wanted to say. But stay strong. Keep the faith. Keep moving forward step by step and day by day. One other thing that I wanted to mention. When I was going through that for me, it was a dark time. Looking back on it now, it wasn't that dark, but when I was in the middle of it, man, it felt so hard. It felt dark. But I went to work one day and I was so depressed. If you've never experienced depression, I know everybody's different. Everybody experiences it a different way. It's not the same for everybody. But for me, it just felt like this huge pressure around my head, and it just felt like this like heat was in, like my head was overheating, and there was nothing that could cheer me up, nothing that could make me feel better. It was just one of those days where I was just, it was bad. Like one of the worst days of feeling depressed that I've ever felt. But that day came and went, and the next day I felt better. Sometimes you just gotta let the day go by, wake up the next day, and see if you feel better. Now, I know there are people who are dealing with and experiencing things way worse than what I was and still am. And in no way am I trying to minimize or not make light, but I'm not trying to minimize or diminish anything that somebody else out there may be going through. But I just wanted to offer some encouragement to keep going, keep moving forward. If you're in therapy, keep at it. If you get nothing else out of it except for somebody to talk to, that's a good thing. because holding everything inside, it just builds up and builds up and builds up. And I'm just saying that from experience. Not a therapist. I'm just a person, just a guy. But hopefully that helps somebody. If it did, maybe hit the like. But that's all I wanted to say. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you in the next video.